Welcome to Void Nation MC.
Hello guys, and welcome to this very first episode of the Build Style series on Void Nation MC. I'm Jack H, and as you can probably see from the title, this video is going to be on the medieval build style tutorial is what I'm trying to say. Now, just a disclaimer first, this is how I build medieval buildings. It's not the only way to build medieval buildings by any means. There are many ways, and all of them have their ups and downs. Some of them are very good, some of them aren't necessarily. But so yes, just say this is my way of doing it. So without further ado, let's get into the first exhibit over here. Now this over here is an example of how I make basement walls. Now these are useful for two things mainly. First one is you're building on a flat surface. They're very useful for making your building look more firmly on the ground. Sometimes you see buildings, they're just kind of sat on top of it. They don't look like they've got any foundations, whereas this helps to create a building look like it's stuck into the ground, like it's made to last. It can make the building look a bit more sort of Nordic in a way, in that sense. So yes, this is made by, it's just mostly cobblestone, I think. Just layer along the bottom there, a layer along the top. Then here we interchange blocks and upside down stairs. And then for these we just have two blocks here, a stair on top and a stair down there. And something you can do is replace these supports. Something I do sometimes is replace these supports with stone brick instead. That helps create a bit more variation. So on to the next exhibit. This here is an example straight off of something you really shouldn't do. Well, you can do it, and it's great for building a starter house, but if you want to be taken seriously, just don't build like this. You see people with houses, and they're just made out of completely blank cobblestone walls, and it's miraculously dull. So, what it's best to do to lighten these up a bit, I find, is just you can very simply just put the logs in. I know a lot of you probably do this already, but there are some who don't. And this can immediately just liven up your builds. You can just put them on the corners. I mean, I put them in the 3 gap here, and you could put them, I don't know, whatever size gap you wanted, depending on the size of your build. So that helps to bring a bit more texture to the walls. It doesn't really bring any dimension because it is still a one thick, very flat wall. But it helps to create an easy way to create some extra textures and make your build a bit more interesting. This is especially good if you're making quite a small build and therefore you're quite restricted with space, which is one of the problems with the next bit I want to show you. Now, onto that aforementioned next bit is this over here. This is how I generally build walls in medieval buildings. I start off with this timber frame. It's just like a condensed space in 3s, but again you can do however big you need. And you just make 4 high columns, so you can make it much higher than that if you want. Maybe not really lower than that, but you can make it much higher if you're making a bigger building. And you make these 4 high, and then you fill the gaps in between here with sideways logs, so you can see. And then this is what the next bit, which really adds the dimension to the wall, is setting this back a block. That makes this looks much more realistic because the timber frame is sticking out. It looks like it's really sort of supporting the building. And then I also like to put these here in the back, just so it doesn't look swoggly on the back. So you just have that there. Even if you put a roof on the top there, it still doesn't work particularly well. So I just put those there to be on the safe side. And also here, it's these I like to put these on most of my medieval builds because, as I said, they are timber frame buildings, and they're made from roughly hewn logs mostly, I think, from my knowledge, as little as it is. But this helps to create a much more realistic, because like that, if you have it like that, it's fairly flat for a start, but also they wouldn't have just a flat log at end there like that. They'd be much more likely to have something sticking out at the end. So that helps to create a bit more realism and dimensions to your build. And I also like to put these underneath here. just to add another texture, really. There's not really much more reason to it than that. Now, on to the next exhibit, which is very similar to that one over there, except this is how I do the second floors in these buildings. You can see I've just again put this arch over 4 high columns. It's 4, isn't it? Yeah, 4. And then dry them up with the sideways logs. And I've put some sandstone in here. And the sandstone, the fact that I've got stone on the bottom and stone bricks and sandstone on the top is very important. At least I believe it is, anyway. Because you have to think about the physics of your build. I know Minecraft doesn't really have much in the way of physics, but you sometimes see builds and they've got maybe wool down here or something like that, and they'll have stone on top, and you think, yes, that looks very nice, but that wouldn't work in real life in the slightest. And the reason that is because wool, even if it's got this one support, wool, part of the structure of the wall is held in this stone section. Wool, if that was wool, it has absolutely no strength whatsoever, almost. And then you put stone on top of it, it just wouldn't support it. So the fact here that we've got a quite dense, heavy material which can support a lot of weight on the bottom, and a slightly lighter stone on top, means that this is much more likely to work in real life, which is why I do that. Now, I also put the up here, like I did over there. That's kind of self-explanatory. Now, on to the next one. This is how I decorate the different wall sections. So you can see this is sort of just a half of that one over there, except we've got a pane in it and some wood. And what this does here is create a very nice sort of ornamented window. These are almost like shutters. Well, they're sorts of shutters, but this helps too, because if we just had it like, I just took a look out there. I don't want that one out. If I just had this window like that, it doesn't look too bad, but it's just a bit dull. So let's get a slab with a wooden oak slab. There it is. There's a slab. It just helps to create a lot more decoration. And the one thing you do have to be careful with, though, regards to this, is you have to be careful not to put too much on and conceal all the material behind. At the moment, it's just about right. Anymore, like if I started putting those on there as well, it just wouldn't really work, I don't think, because you're just concealing too much of the surface material. So yeah, so that's how I tend to do medieval windows. This one here is a door, obviously, because it's got a door in it. That kind of makes it a door section. So I've used the stone brick, these stairs. You'll find I tend to use this kind of idea here quite a lot. So the normal way upstairs there and the upside down stair on top to create this sort of 1 block height and half block depth thing here. I tend to use quite a lot. And then I've got some on the other side, obviously, and just a stair at the top and just a door in there. And the fact you got this on the front means the door looks recessed, because if why did I just show the door? I could have copied that. Where is it? It's there, isn't it? There we are. If you just have the door like this, it's very flat, and it looks quite nice in a way. It's like the door sort of protruding a bit, but it is pretty flat. By putting it down back there, you're kind of getting into this whole kind of sort of slightly darker sort of feeling that a lot of my medieval buildings had, because they were made out of dark materials, really. But that helps to create that. And this one over here is exactly the same, basically, except it hasn't got a door in it. So it's an arch. That's all it really is. And this would be useful if you have something like a garden, a fenced garden in your back, around the back of your house, something like that. And that would, if you're somewhere you knew mobs weren't going to spawn, sorry about that, I was just thinking, where you knew mobs weren't going to spawn. And this will be useful for allowing, obviously, easy access, but that's what an arch does. I also put this stair on the back here, an upside down one, just kind of to add a little bit more decoration on the wall there, because a lot of these designs don't really have any like this one has no decoration on the back. I mean, you could do decoration on the back, but that's just a little example of some decoration on the back of there. Now we're going to move on to roofs. this here is definitely an example of something you this one here is an example of something you shouldn't do in my books anyway. Got a frame rate up there, I'm not quite sure why. Because this, you see people who frame rate. You see people who build houses like roofs like this, and it covers you up, and it doesn't really do anything of worth more than that. It's horrifically ugly. All roofs in real life basically overhang a bit. This doesn't. This step pattern here doesn't work right, and it's generally quite a hideous thing to look at. So instead of that, I tend to do it like this one over here. Now this is fundamentally quite the same, it's just a load of stairs really, but one of the key things is these logs here. These help to sort of border the wall, and it's similar to what I was saying about the sandstone and the way of the physics of Minecraft over there. This would be what supports the roof. The center support straight here also helps do that. And yeah, it's through the physics and how the roof is supported. I also tend to put these on here because otherwise a lot of it's just kind of blocks or 3/4 blocks in the case of stairs. And that does tend to look a bit, although having all the basically full blocks is alright, you just add kind of a bit of extra dimension, which I like to do. And then on the side here as well, I've just got a little window which could be used if you were to make this in a game. Just made this. I'm trying to make this look a bit like a porthole, really, because these here help sort of enclose it in a bit, and then these again are just some sort of simple supports, and it makes the house look very sturdy the more supports you have, really. So then this one over here is almost exactly the same as that one, except it has a window in it. This window, again, it has these supports here. That's also again to the physics, as it always is with me, and things like this. It also has the little pane in there. It's a very small sort of window, typically medieval. They didn't have big windows then. They wanted to board up with dackers, or they couldn't afford the glass. I think it was probably. Yeah, so that's why it has a very small window there. And these stairs, these fences. That's the word I'm looking for. Fences. These fences here. Again, are they're partly for support this time, but also if I just take them out a second, you can see the roof, due to the size of blocks, and in fact you can't get very small without using something like red power, means that this roof overhangs an awful lot in relation to the size of the actual window section. So doing this makes it a bit more supported. Get in the right place, you stupid fence. There we are. Right, makes it feel more supported and more realistic. And also, I also tend to like to put glowstone on this, but something I do is I put glowstone a lot of the places around when I'm building in creative, which is what I do a lot of the time in Minecraft. But one thing you'll find is I never ever directly expose the whole surface of a glowstone block. And that's why I find the glowstone texture. It's nice to have a little bit of that sort of goldiness under there, but it's not a particularly nice looking block. It's not great for building. It's quite a natural looking block. So I like to always disguise it. Sometimes I'll put a stair sort of over it if I've got two next to each other and have like 3 little quarter sort of square sections. In this case, I've just covered the half out with a slab. When I'm building paths or something like that for our server, I'll very commonly put them under a glass block that the whole of the hub, which is like our spawn area on our server, HyperMC, coming to an IP near you soon, as soon as it gets out of alpha testing. But there's a lot of glowstone under glass. So yes, I use a lot of that, and it does greatly help your build. Then our final exhibit over here is a lot more. So it's not medieval. Well, it's medieval, but a lot more sort of fantasy-inspired roof. It looks almost Nordic, like something from Skyrim. also looks kind of like pretty stripy, but it's due to do with the curvature of the roof. I could get a lot more of a curvature, but it's to do with the size of this sort of podium thing here. My bloody frame rate again. There we are. This helps to create that more sort of fantasy kind of air to the design. And I'm going to put these fences on the top here, just as a bit of decoration. This one is even a slightly worse case of what's hanging about over there being almost all full blocks, because this is full blocks apart from the stairs. And then this kind of roof pattern here, the stripes, this does tend to work better if your roof section is quite a lot wider than this one. If you go onto the vanilla survival world on our server when it comes out, you'll see a roof very similar to this one, and it's much wider. So I think I used light grey and dark grey wool in that case, but these help to break up the roof a bit. I also put these over here. It look a bit like a sail, but it kind of looks like it's supporting the roof as well, which I really like. So that is it. I think we've gone over everything I've got here. If you want me to do, and it's raining, please go away. There we are. Toggle it. So we've gone over all sections I could think of here for your medieval buildings. If you have any other sort of features in medieval building you want me to do, please put it in the comments, and I will be sure to do a little video on that and a few different designs of that maybe, and also tell me what style you want to see next. I'm always looking to do more videos on this channel. This is my first video that I've done a voiceover on. I did build the Eiffel Tower time lapse, if you guys have seen that, but this is my first actual proper video, as you could say, on the channel. So I'm always keen to do more. So ignore that. That's kind of my prototypes and everything. So yes, thank you for watching. And I think at the end now I'm going to put a little bit of what happens when you put all these sections together into one building. So that will be coming up in a minute, and I will see you then. Okay, guys. Okay then, guys, I've quickly thrown together this building here to showcase the things we've just been looking at. Jump right in. First of all, you can see we've used the door design we showcased here. It's it works well here because it's very compact, and this building isn't huge. But frame rate drop again. The stone brick does give it a slight air of grandness, which is works well for this because it's quite sort of like a hall or something like that, which for a guild, something like that, which for the grand door would suit that. We also have the windows here, use them extensively. Got 4 on the side, 4 on the back, and on the ends there. We've also used the medieval roof, the fantasy roof, that one. Except I used different materials this time, rather than using quartz and whatever I used last time, light grey wool I think. This time I've used light grey wool and dark grey wool. It's a bit less contrast. Personally, I prefer it. We've also got these fences here and all the way down there, along with the wooden roof supports. We've obviously got the basement design here that I showed you. This is how it goes all the way around here, right around the side and everything. This, I haven't put anything in here. In fact, none of this place is actually furnished because this is also the interior of this video. If you do want me to do, the exterior, if you do want me to do a video about medieval interiors, be sure to put it in the comments and I'll do that for you guys. So yeah, you could borrow this out. It's only too high, but you could borrow it out and make quite a nice sort of secret lab down there or something. Around this side, is there anything else you can start over here? We've also used these. I've also sort of merged the fantasy roofs with the roof window design to create this. It's I'm quite pleased with those. And we've also used the arch here. This is sort of my little back deck thing for this place. So I think that just about showcases that. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.